ADHD and routines. Ugh, routines. How do you feel when you hear that word? You hear what my initial bias was. I made some sort of sound effect that I don't know how the subtitle writers are going to write that in. They don't have to be assignments. They don't have to be unscheduled tasks. They don't have to be confining. Well, Rob, how's this possible? Well, hear me out. It all changed for me when the forces behind my routines changed to why I was doing something instead of what I was supposed to be doing. Intention is everything, so I started asking why I intended to do things. When I started asking why I did things before starting to do them, I found out some pretty cool information. For instance, most of the things that I was doing were for other people that they probably could have and should have been doing for themselves. If the answer to why I did something as part of my routines was, well, because somebody else needs this done, I would focus on that first. Well, why would I do that? Well, because they're distractions. ADHD, distractions. Come on. These were distractions that in the short term took some pressure off me from completing the tasks that were to take care of my own personal needs. And this is very common among people with ADHD. For instance, I love doing yard work at other people's houses. I hate doing it at my own. I think it's because I get to do it at somebody else's house versus I have to do it at my own. And as we well know, procrastination is one of our ADHD traits. And that procrastination can actually serve a positive purpose. Well, what is that purpose of procrastination? Well, when we're trying to build the momentum to get the energy, start, and complete a task that is in front of us, sometimes we have some distractions along the way as we're saving up the energy and trying to figure out a way to do it. Oftentimes, however, the distractions can become the routine. This leads to a further backlog of things that need to be done and also creates a further sense of feeling overwhelmed and maybe even a possible potential need to withdraw because you're so overwhelmed. And this, of course, has the exact opposite long-term effect of what we're trying to accomplish. If you got more unfinished tasks that require more attention, well, that just breeds a little bit more of a sense of anxiety, and it can become kind of a negative feedback loop that builds on itself. So many of us with ADHD cycle through these seasons of productivity and withdrawal. But when the routine becomes entrenched in withdrawal, well, that builds more momentum toward more distractions. Our body tends to be really good at doing more of what it's currently doing. When I realized what was happening and that the majority of things making me feel overwhelmed and unproductive were unnecessary distractions that I willingly agreed to, well, this changed my thinking. The more we say yes to distractions, the less bandwidth we ultimately have to take care of our own needs and responsibilities. It's important for us to take care of our responsibilities, and it's important for us to succeed in our tasks. Because, well, when you succeed in a task, it builds confidence, momentum, and good feelings. Boom, dopamine. If our own task seems too overwhelming in scope, or we just don't even know where to start, our minds look for opportunities to find short-term bursts of accomplishment to bring that dopamine. And if we're doing something for somebody else, not only are we getting a task accomplished, but we're also doing something nice for somebody else. Well, that should make us feel good too, right? So, dopamine. Yes, these are short-term things, but these are ultimately long-term not sustainable. So wait a minute, is helping other people good or bad? Well, yes. It can be both. When we do something for somebody else at the expense of our own self-care, well, that can be unsustainable and ultimately can lead to feelings of burnout, feeling used, feeling washed up, feeling taken advantage of. So what does any of this have to do with routines? Taking care of my own needs first has become my routine. It's one step, it's simple, it's easy to remember, and well, I can do it. Now, this routine is a little bit more challenging to accept and adapt into your own life because, well, the people that are used to us doing things for them, of course, are going to reject it. Now their lives are harder. Well, I am not encouraging isolation, lack of cooperation, or any of that at all. In fact, quite the opposite. I'm encouraging you to take care of your own needs first before using any of your own energy to help anybody else. That's all it is. That sounds selfish. Well, indeed it is. This is exactly like the airplane oxygen mask analogy. If you put the oxygen mask on yourself first, you are covered and you are now able to help other people that may not be able to help themselves. But if you don't put the mask on yourself first, you run out of oxygen, you get tired, you get dizzy, you pass out, and ultimately, there can be a big problem. Where if you would have just put the mask on yourself first, you can then help attend to everybody else that's around you. This is a little hard to hear, but it's true. Add your services to help another and the situation is net neutral to positive. When your personal needs are met and other people's needs are met as well, the situation combines to create abundance for both. When I changed my routine to focus on self-care first instead of perpetual distractions, a light bulb went off. and I no longer feel overwhelmed and I no longer feel used up. It's important to recognize that if we are feeling overwhelmed or used up, well, it is because of our own choices. It's kind of hard to hear, but it's true. You can choose yourself first. You don't have to choose to fulfill other people's demands first. Ultimately, it's on you. It's your choice. Say yes to yourself first. Learn to say no to others if your own needs aren't met. I have discovered that by prioritizing myself, the need for distractions is way less. And I'm not only accomplishing what I need to, but I'm doing it in a very real way that I have more time and more bandwidth to help people out than I did beforehand. It's amazing how that works. Abundance is really pretty cool. So recognizing what you are doing is key, is vital. So make self-care your routine. Tell yourself that you are kind to yourself. Tell yourself that you are good to yourself. And believe that you're worth it, because you are. Here you are at the end of the video and you're like, Rob, that was pretty simple on routines. You just basically said prioritize yourself first. Yep, that's the whole point of the video. If you can prioritize yourself first and you make that your routine, everything else just seems to fall into place after that. So I hope you found this worthwhile. Like and subscribe. And well, if there's anybody that this might help, well, share it with them too.